After a pulsating game this week, and despite being India's match winner, well, if a solitary boundary for the winning runs as your only contribution counts, I couldn't help but think Shreyas Iyers isn't right for this Indian Test team. As I mentioned on last week's video, he reminds me a lot of Suresh Raina, and as much as I enjoyed watching Raina the player, and I recognise how much natural ability he had for striking the cricket ball, I wouldn't exactly say he was suited to Test cricket, especially overseas. I feel the exact same way about Shreyas Iyers. So let's take a look at his stats first of all. And some of you may be wondering why someone who has got a quality first class record with only a couple of recent failures is being called to be dropped. However, if we delve deeper, we can see that his overall stats don't tell the whole story. They show someone who is excellent on home spin friendly tracks, and I don't deny this, as he is a phenomenal player of spin. However, as documented, he has not overcome his problem against pace and the short ball. We can see clear issues when he plays in England, South Africa, Australia and New Zealand, where he averages 22.8, albeit with a small sample size of 5 first class matches, whereas at home he averages 52.8. So what makes a good test match player, and what should the selectors be looking for? Most Indian players have a degree of skill and comfort playing spin, otherwise they wouldn't have the records they have to even get in contention. So the main factors to play Test cricket for me are A. Someone who has shown an ability to get big scores, B. has a technique to score runs in swinging and seaming conditions, and C. they can handle pace and bounce. These things are important as it allows you to integrate players into the team who you feel can perform no matter where the Test matches are played. You don't expect players to come in and master all of these straight away, but you want to see a path to which they can. For example, when Kohli first came into the team, there were questions of him against a short ball, or to use a more recent example, there are some questions around Shubman Gill and his play outside off stump. However, the difference in those cases are that technical tweaks felt, or feel in Gill's case, surmountable. When I look at Shreyas Iyers, I don't see how he can escape his problems. So what are these, and let's look into his technique. Much like Raina, he has been badged as a short ball bunny, and from what I've seen, I'd say this is fair, as he seems to have revamped his technique to face the short ball and seems overly preoccupied with it. Generally, the best players seem to deal with short balls as they come, without it seeming to affect other parts of their game. But naturally, there are caveats to this, and it doesn't mean that good players don't get done by the short ball. Let's look at a 22-year-old Shreyas Iyers with his old technique. You can see it's a much more conventional position with his front foot facing towards point at release, and from there he gets a big stride into the ball. However, as bowlers started targeting him short, he switched up his technique to a slightly more open stance, hanging back in the crease with his front foot facing towards the bowler at point of release. This has led to the following problems. 1. Hanging back means he is susceptible to full bowling on seaming tracks and can lead him to getting bowled or nicked off, as we saw in the first Test versus South Africa. 2. Whilst the new stance is a good option for being aggressive against short pitch bowling, as he is set in position to attack the ball, if the ball gets big on you or you want to defend, as you sometimes do want to do in a test match, then you can get squared up and fend the ball. Furthermore, given the movement of the red ball compared to the white, setting up your game to attack all the short balls doesn't seem sensible, as it carries risks even for quality players of short pitch bowling. Isn't that right, Ricky? So when your changes to counteract the short ball have given you other problems, which in this case are fundamentally required to be able to play test match cricket, then it's hard to say how he can be a success in all formats for India. However, it's not all doom and gloom for Shreyas Iyers. He is a fantastic player of spin, and undoubtedly this has made him a real asset in the ODI side, especially in Indian conditions. Also, given his record against spin, I wouldn't bet against him scoring big runs against England in India in the 5 test match series. But personally, I want India to invest in players who can succeed all over the world in test matches. So there's why I want other players to be given a chance over Shreyas in test matches for India. But let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed the video.